Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day or have had a wonderful day today. And if you're in the path of the hurricane, I hope that your family stays safe and sound. I wanted to address an issue, not an issue, but I wanted to address something that I thought would be kind of cool for everybody to listen to. So we'll get into that in a second. But before I do that, John and I did a video last week where we discussed our paths to the political realm after leaving Watchtower and how we feel about that now as we have learned more information and done some research on things. Where do we stand? How do we feel about things? And so we had that conversation. It was a great conversation. We really enjoyed doing the video. I'll put a link to that video in the description. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Check it out and let us know what you think. We did have some great comments from folks, and I really do appreciate those wonderful comments and kind words that the viewers did share with us. There was also some that were I may not have agreed with, but I do respect your opinion, and thank you so much for sharing that with us as well, even though I may disagree, and that's okay. So, all right, so let's get into tonight's subject. Have you ever found yourself, especially if let me go back. If you're someone that has woken up to what's going on in the Watchtower, which most of the viewers have woken up from Watchtower, or you're waking up to things politically, and you go to share that information with others, have you felt resistance sometimes? Why is that? Now, in my 5+ years of activism with Watchtower and the political things, I've had some really great conversations with folks. I've had some conversations where I'm like, wow, I felt like I've known that person forever. Our ideologies are lined up together. We can see things. Then there's others to where, after a little bit of time, having, conversation here or there, we've grown to become friends because we actually had mutually respectful conversations with one another. And that's been good. But there have been times I've had conversations with folks where I wish I could just forget about those conversations. Have you ever felt like you were beating your head against the wall, you know the truth, you've got the facts, you've got the evidence, and you go to share it with someone, and it's like, oh no, la 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 la, they don't want to hear it, and you're just beating your head against the wall. And then there's other folks out there that will act like trolls. They'll gaslight you. They'll say you left one cult and went to another, or you're having a conversation with somebody and then somebody else jumps in, and we call those flying monkeys. How have you reacted to that? I know with me, I've unfortunately engaged with some of those folks, and after I'm done engaging with them, I found myself drained. I found my energy level was not where it needed to be at. Now, since I've learned these types of folks that are out there, the spectrum of, belief systems and where they're at on the path to the Great Awakening or whatever, I've learned how to deal with folks like this. Now, for me personally, I don't have a lot of time anymore to be involved in those conversations. And then if they start getting testy with me, well, like I said, I'm all about love and light, but I'm Italian and I will fight back. I will say some stuff, and probably a little later on, I'll be like, man, I can't believe I said that. I got caught up in the emotion of it all. So I've tried to stay out of those conversations. I don't go looking for those types of conversations because I know what it leads to. It leads to me having depleted energy, and I don't want that. So with what I'm getting ready to show you guys, hopefully after seeing this, you can, if you're new to the waking up process, whether it's waking up from Watchtower or waking up to the political things, maybe this will help you so you can avoid having to have those type of conversations that drain your energy. Now, if you've watched the Big Picture episodes or you've gone to XJW Political Corner with Ruby's show and saw some of the interactions we've had on there, you guys know that I talk about the white hats and the black hats. As a matter of fact, Big Picture episode 1, I talked about that, where there's a white hat alliance working against the black hats, globalist cabal. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And so, but what about the people in the middle of that spectrum? Where do people fall there? And I really liked this video that Ricardo Bosi did. He's an Italian who lives in Australia, and he's part of the, I guess you could say, Digital Soldiers, Anons. He puts out a lot of great information, and for some reason I want to think that he's a colonel. I'll have to double check that, so please don't quote me on that. But it's a really good video that he's done, and I will put a link to this whole video in the description, because if you really want to know what's going on in this world outside of what the media tells you, I'd say go check it out and then draw your own conclusions on what you see. But he goes in and explains the different type of hats people are wearing, whether it be a white hat, a black hat, a red hat, a blue hat, an orange hat, a yellow hat, a green hat. So he explains it very well. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera around and play this video so you guys can hear it, and then we'll talk about it briefly at the end of the video. So let me get my camera set up. Flip that around. Alrighty. And let's see. Let's go ahead and play.
We've got the black hats at one end and the white hats at the other. This is pure evil, the black hats. And at the other end, we've got the white hats. In between, we have the population. Now, right alongside the black hats are what we call the red hats. The red hats, they have no conscience. As long as you pay them, they will do whatever they need to do to get that money. And they will follow instructions, even if it's, we want you to go kill people. Yeah, no problem. We want you to fly planes and spray chemicals over the people that will cause deformities and death. No problem. How much are you paying them? Now, the red hats will only move once the black hat's arrested. The moment the black hat gets arrested, the red hats will start talking, because they're cowards. Moves the orange hats. Evidence of crime. So the orange hats are genuinely good people, but very naive. And that evidence of crime must be delivered by the same face that has been telling them one set of lies. Then that same face needs to tell them a different set of truths, because they will believe it. Because if you get on there or I get on there, they say, I'm not going to believe him. But if they get a trusted face telling them the same crook, that's why the media will be one of the last groups to go, because the white hats have to use the media to communicate the truth to the orange hats, because the orange hats will get from a trusted news reporter. Today, the Prime Minister of Greece was found in bed with 15 little boys. Oh my God, it must be true because what's his name said it. Make sense? Now, if you're watching carefully, more stories are coming out. What does that tell you? And certainly in Australia, we're now getting stories of politicians and pedophilia. That never happened here. It was always covered up. Never made it to the airwaves. But the fact that it's coming out now means two things. One, the white hats are controlling the media more and more. Two, the orange hats are going to start seeing evidence of crime in their trusted institutions. And it's coming from the media. So the media is going to tell them you can't trust the politicians, you can't trust the judges, you can't trust the police, you can't trust the military, you can't trust the local priest. And they will believe it. And that's going to move the orange hats. They will now join us and say, my God, it's terrible. Then you've got the yellow hats. And these are not good people. Not because they're bad. They're not evil. They don't care about anything except this. They're the ones that put their hands over there. No, I don't want to know. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. No. They will do anything to keep left alone. They will pay more tax. They will stay at home. They will wear a mask. They will get a jab. Just leave me alone. Please don't affect my mortgage payments on my house. They will jab their kids rather than lose their house. Now, what moves these people? And this is a big chunk of the population and growing, because the jab has adversely affected the psychology of the people who received it. So the yellow hats are now a bigger group because they are now turning into, okay? Now, the fear of staying where they are is greater than the fear of moving into something new. That's the only thing that'll move a yellow hat. They won't shift. They will literally bury their head in the sand, leaving their ass pointing upwards and hoping the threat will go away. But when they realise that threat is so great, they will pull their head out of the sand and run. And so the white hats have to use a different set of techniques on the orange and the yellow hats. And that yellow hat might be a scare event. Make sense now? So you've got the red hats being shown, black hats arrested. You've got the orange hats being shown from the corrupt media that the people they believe in are crooks. You've got the yellow hats who are now need a scare event. Then you've got the green. You've got the green hats. The green hats are the ones that have moved along. All of a sudden they're going, I don't know, this is not, something's wrong. They don't know what's going wrong, but they are out of this group over here. And they are the ones that we speak to. They're the ones that are open to persuasion. We say, ladies and gentlemen, look at the facts for yourself. And bit by bit, that group is starting to grow. They're starting to understand there are liars out there. Something's not right. You can't tell them about adrenochrome on day one because you lose them. But you start telling them about the things that they can swallow. And that green hat group is where we recruit. And then you've got the blue hats, that's us. We're out there right alongside the white hats doing what we can to advance, as best we can, victory in this war. And so that might be a sort of an explanation as to why different groups don't respond to the same motivation and why there are several elements to this war that have to be employed simultaneously to get enough people, unequivocal support for what is going to come. If the price you are willing to pay for this is not your life, then you are for sale.
Okay, so Ricardo goes through and explains different type of hats that people wear. There was the black, the red, the orange, the yellow, the green, the blue, and the white hats. And so just to recap, I know there was a little bit of audio with the video. That was an issue there. But he talked about the black hats. Those are the evil ones. Those are the ones that's your globalist, cabal, Illuminati, corporations that are in bed with the government, which we would call that fascism. Then we have the red hats. Now, the red hats are the ones that do the bidding for the black hats. These are your puppets. These are the ones, like he said, that just give me money, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. And you can, as we explain these, you can draw your own conclusion. You can put different people in these categories as you see fit. Then you have the orange hats. The orange hats are the ones that if they don't see it on TV, they're not going to believe it. So, for example, for the last 4 years, the media has been telling everyone that Donald Trump never ordered 10,000 National Guard troops, where the blue hats already knew that he did, but the orange hats didn't want to hear it because it hadn't come out on the media yet. Well, just here in the past week, that information has come out. So now the orange hats are sitting there. Well, didn't they tell us that he didn't order the troops? Now they're telling us that he did. So there's a different technique used there to help wake these folks up, or at least get them to start asking questions. Then you have the yellow hats. These are the ones that just don't want, they don't want to hear anything. They don't want to see anything. They don't want to watch the video you sent them. They are very obstinate because they just want to be left alone. They just want to live in their own little reality, their own little illusion, and they don't want anybody to mess with that. And so this is why we have said repeatedly that there's going to need to be a scare event to wake up these folks. And it is a large chunk of the population. Then you have the green hats. These are the ones that have realized, holy crap, there's something going on. I can't put my finger on it, but something is not right. These are the folks that the blue hats are basically red pilling. So, for example, to break it down on a personal level, I told Ruby she's a green hat. And I told her the other night, she's getting to the point where she's getting ready to put a blue hat on. But I've been giving her information and not inundating her with information. I've slowly been giving it to her so she can draw her own conclusion, watch the video, ask me questions, then we have a conversation. And then we figure out, what's going on, what's being said here. And then you have the blue hats. The blue hats are the digital soldiers, the Anons. We are the ones out there trying to get this information out to people, and hopefully something sets with them. Now, not only can this be attributed to the political side of things, but as an XJW activist, and if you're trying to wake up XJWs, or even if you're trying to wake up JWs, then you need to figure out which hat this person that you're trying to give information to help them wake up, which hat are they wearing? What approach works best with them? So it's a pretty cool little illustration that he's using here, and I find it very helpful because I know for me, as I move forward, if I have somebody come in my DMs or sends me a message and I get the vibe that they are a red hat or they are a yellow hat and they're just there to cause crap, then I'm not going to deal with them unless I'm bored. And then I'll troll them. I'll troll back at them just because I'm bored. But generally speaking, I don't want to be involved with that because it's going to just deplete my energy, and I don't want that to happen because there's so much information coming out, folks, right now. So much information coming out that it's hard to keep up. And my job, my mission is to be able to inform people with what's going on in this world and give them as much information, as much good information as I possibly can. So, but like I said, I'll go ahead and put a link to this video in the description, and I'll put a link to the video that John and I did in the description as well. And I hope you guys enjoy both videos. So if you want to follow me for my daily news that I put out, or daily information I put out, things that I see that I think are worthy of being seen by folks, please follow me on X, because we all know that I'm banned from Facebook. But if you follow me on X, my hash or my profile there is the @ symbol, capital J, capital S, capital B, ELL 1973. So yeah, come on over, give me a follow, and if you feel moved to, and let's have some conversations. So, but I hope this video was helpful. Hope you got something out of it. Go back and watch it, and especially the part that Ricardo does, so that you can figure out who you're dealing with. And it's only meant to help you further your awakening process. And also where you won't get so stressed out and be so anxious about things. All right. Sending you all much love. Take care. And we'll see you later.